This is so cool. Like with that big reveal at the end of episode two between Joel and Birdie. I mean, first of all, she goes and runs to a cop
Yeah.
to confess the murder. You know, you're like, what is she doing? What is this dynamic? What's about to happen? You know, and he's hard to read because you don't know where he's at. And
Hmm.
then that twist at the end, where he tells her, he's like, I'm gonna put all the weapons inside the police station. No one's gonna look for him. Your friends will be
Yeah.
fine. And then she's like, are you still mad at me? And he closes the blinds and he turns to her and then they kiss. And you're like, oh my God, what is this relationship? What is this relationship?
Matthew, how's it going today?
Hey man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for sitting down with me, and congrats on the show. It's a wonderful show. I mean this truly. I sat down, watched two episodes back to back, and it's fantastic. Everybody on the show, including you, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I know we're very excited about it. It feels like a very special show for us, and I'm glad you got to two because two really tees it all up.
Yeah, it's so interesting. When I first saw your character in the pilot, I thought, "Oh, look at this guy. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to support him or anything." And then now I see the reason why you're here. I'm thinking, okay, all right. I want to see this arc. I want to see where it's going to go. You have that perfect look for the character you're playing.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That means a lot. I resonated with him from the beginning. I fell in love with Joel and Birdie and the world like when I read the audition. Like
Mm,
before anyone was cast, these characters were so clear and so dynamic and so interesting. I was immediately captivated by it in a way that I haven't been before. And I remember being so excited for the audition. I put it on tape. I sent it out. I couldn't stop thinking about it. And about 2 weeks later, I got the offer, and I was like, I was thrilled, but I was also not surprised because I felt this connection from the very beginning. And I was so excited because I had never really fallen in love with a character that I was going to play immediately, let alone what would go on to become his romantic interest in Birdie. And then I got to sit back and watch. And I think I was one of the first people cast. And so then I could see how they assembled the cast, who was cast. And then we jumped into the pilot, and it was like one of those things where like I got the because I only read two episodes for the audition. I had read no scripts, didn't read the pilot. They gave me the pilot. I'm in one scene at the end with the two lines,
yeah.
and Phil and Jen are like, "Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. We got you covered. Like you're gonna do more." I'm like, "I trust you guys. I'm not worried at all. I trust you." And then they gave me 102, and I about fell out of my fucking chair. I was like, "Oh my God, this is so cool." This is so cool. Like with that big reveal at the end of episode two between Joel and Birdie. I mean, first of all, she goes and runs to a cop
Yeah.
to confess the murder. You know, you're like, what is she doing? What is this dynamic? What's about to happen? You know, and he's hard to read because you don't know where he's at. And
Hmm.
then that twist at the end, where he tells her, he's like, I'm gonna put all the weapons inside the police station. No one's gonna look for him. Your friends will be
Yeah.
fine. And then she's like, are you still mad at me? And he closes the blinds and he turns to her and then they kiss and you're like, oh my God, what is this relationship? What is this relationship? Because it immediately establishes from the very beginning that he they have something very special. Like if
Hmm.
she's gonna run to this guy, a cop in the police station, confess the murder, fully trusting that he's gonna help cover it up, and then he does.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed that, and that's sealed in a kiss there at the end. You're like, you need to know how they get there. How
Yeah.
do they get to this moment? And that's what's beautiful about the show is like now we kind of go back with the coming episodes. We go back in time to catch the audience up to how they meet, how they grow their dynamic, and how they ultimately get to that moment, which is revealed in the beginning of the series.
Yeah. It's also so interesting that he's a true family man. He's not a guy just
Yeah,
doing a job. He's just like when we first meet him along with Birdie, he's like stay away from our son. Like
yeah.
that's crazy, because we get the intonation that yes, he cares about this child that he helped rear for so
Mm-hmm.
long, but
Mm-hmm.
man, it's a very intense moment that you guys share amongst each other. That it's just that one scene I felt was one of the most dramatic parts.
That's interesting because that was the scene from my audition. That scene where he drops off the Xbox and tells her like kind of like, "Hey, mind your own business."
Yeah.
and you could just see that there's just so much brewing between them. There's just so much like under the surface that's happening. But I agree with you, and I appreciate you pointing that out because as a father myself, like when you see that theme in a character, you like it immediately captures you. And so I knew that he was a good dad. He was a good father. He's a protective father. He's committed to his marriage, even though it sucks,
Right.
even though it's kind of like dying on the vine, and there's really nothing happening between he and his wife. But he's there for his son. He's there to do the right thing, and that's what I really like about it. I mean, I like that. Then Birdie shows up, and it just changes everything for him, and that
Yeah.
he's kind of in a place in his life where not only is he totally captivated by Birdie, but he's also in a place in his life where he knows very much how to handle someone like Birdie. He's very unflappable with her,
Yeah.
and I think that's part of their attraction. She's very chaotic, and he's not necessarily put
Yeah.
off by it.
She is chaotic. She like that. She didn't just change everything for him. She changed everything as soon as she walked into that garden society.
Yeah,
Everything kind of just like screwed up for everybody. Really, just
it's
that's the way
true.
I see it.
It really is true. I agree with you. I thought that too. Like she shows up, and then the entire town is kind of turned upside down.
Yeah.
And interesting because everyone loves Birdie. She's a
Mhm.
lovable character, but not everyone knows how to love her.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Joel steps in. And so to like know that she runs to him for help, and he covers that up, like that kind of romance, that kind of love, where you can just trust somebody to help you do what needs to be done in spite of like right and wrong. And
Yeah.
I just out of love and trust and loyalty, that's a relationship I want to explore. And like Joel's the kind of guy I love to play. I'll play him all day long.
Well, speaking of trust, you were on the CW for so long, 13 years for a collective amount of time. I mean, I'm sure that felt comfortable for, like up until a certain point, and then when those end and you have to go out and find new roles as in this show,
Yeah.
how do you find that trust? How do you just believe, you say, besides reading the role and going, this is going to be a great show, do you just have to go with it and really just follow through with who you are as a person and think that this character and this show are going to be the next big thing?
Yeah, it's for me. It's a very metaphysical process. It's a
Mm,
very metaphysical experience where I mean, like Vampire Diaries. I remember I auditioned for that back in '09, and it was originally just to be on a 4 episode arc. But I remember like praying, like I was in a dark time. I was just coming
mhm,
out of a dark time, and I remember praying, and then this audition showed up, and then it took me out to Atlanta. I shot 4 episodes, and they're like, they wanted to make me a series regular,
mm,
and that 4 episode arc turned into a 13 episodes, 13 season, 13-year long gig,
yeah.
and that Alaric's journey and my journey run parallel through very, very dark times.
Mhm,
And Alaric's journey, when you really look at it, when you really crack it open, is pretty dark. It's pretty heavy. He goes through some pretty heavy stuff. He never really finds love. He's killed multiple times,
yeah.
resurrected multiple times, and even at the very end of Legacies, he's the last season. He's in purgatory. He's in purgatory, and he's got to find his way out of purgatory. And like I won't get into it, but like there's parallels running in my life to this, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is so weird. And then at the very end of Legacies, it's interesting. It's the scene. They had one scene written, and I didn't feel like it was right. They wanted to have some big grand goodbye for Alaric, where it's like this procession. He says goodbye to everyone, blows kisses, and there's a
Yeah.
ticker tape parade. And I was like, nah, this doesn't feel right. And then so I wrote this idea of him leaving under the cover of night before anyone knew.
Mm,
And Brett Matthews liked the idea enough to adopt it and then put in his dialogue. But that last moment between Hope and Alaric, when he's packing up his car and he drives away under the cover of night, is not. He's like. It's an interesting inversion even of like riding off into the sunset. It's not a happy end. He's not riding off into the sunset. He's riding out under the cover of night under a full
Yeah.
moon. And so like it's an
Yeah.
inversion for him. And it's an escape almost. Like it's in a
Mhm.
scene where he's finally can escape that darkness. And so for me creatively, it kind of felt like that too. And so I got out of it and went through some difficult challenges myself. And then on the other side of those, last year, I started getting a slew of auditions.
Yeah.
I had gone through this remarkable personal transformation, a remarkable awakening in many ways. Uh, and then I get this audition for Joel. And there was just something so special about it. I
Yeah.
just something special, special, special. It resonated. And like I said, I put myself on tape. I sent it out. And I couldn't stop thinking about it at all. And then I got the call 2 weeks later with the offer. And of course, I was thrilled, but I was not surprised because I was like, I just knew the minute I read it. I fell in love with Joel. I fell in love with Birdie. I fell in love with that world. And then I got the offer. And then I sat back. I was one of the first people cast. And I remember then watching to see who they were going to cast, especially for Birdie. And then it's been this remarkable journey into this world now where I'm 25 years into my career. Like you said, I've 13 years on Vampire Diaries or playing a lark. And now like I have this new wealth of experience, a new shift in my life. I'm in a new stage in my career, in my life as a father and as a man.
Mhm.
And all of it became immediately relatable to Joel. And the fact that Joel's the kind of guy that helps his lover cover up on murder, I'm like, I'll play that guy all day long. Let's
That's
go.
perfect. That's perfect. Well, Matthew, I appreciate this, man. You're doing a great job, and both inside and out, off on the television, off the television. Congratulations for everything, and I hope to see more of you. You're a wonderful actor, and Grosse Point's a great show. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate the time.
yeah, you're very welcome. All right, have a good rest of your day.
You too. Take care.
Bye.